Today, under my leadership and under my direction, New York National Guard will deploy an additional 150 members to support the asylum seeker mission. That brings our total to 2,200 National Guard members supporting the overall mission.
All right, so Governor Hochul there, the governor of New York, you heard she's talking about more than 2,000 National Guard personnel tasked now with assisting with this influx of migrants looking for refuge in the state of New York. The move is part of the $50 million investment to respond to the ongoing migrant crisis, which has been contentious, to say the least, among many New Yorkers feeling the strain. Last night, as an example, demonstrators rallied outside a former college dorm up in the Bronx at Manhattan College, protesting plans to convert that building into a facility for asylum seekers. To zoom out a little bit on this, more than 110,000 migrants have flowed through the city since last year, 60,000 still being housed in city facilities. Congressman Anthony D'Esposito joins us now, Congressman from New York, with his perspective on that. And we're trying to do, Congressman, is get a lot of different perspectives on this. Everybody agrees it's a problem. There's former Obama administration official, and Jay Johnson was on a few minutes ago and saying as much. Might have different ideas than you, though, in terms of what should be done. What do you think should be done right now that's not being done?
Well, I think we need to take a serious look at the border and shut it down and start there. Obviously, we have zero control over the border. I mean, there's estimates today. I have colleagues that have made their way to Eagle Pass just this morning, and they're saying that it's the worst that they've ever seen. And now these are representatives that have represented communities along the Mexican border for years, and they said that what they've seen over the last 24 hours is the worst they've seen yet. I mean, we're talking 10,000 migrants coming into the United States per day. We just don't have the ability to keep up. We don't have the ability to process these asylum claims. And as we've seen in New York City, when you have places that want to refer to themselves as sanctuary cities, but have zero plans in place to actually be that sanctuary, we create complete hysteria, which is what we're seeing now.
Okay, so to bring it back to New York, and you're right, Eagle Pass, they have a lot of issues down at the border that they're dealing with. But to bring it back to New York, we can put those numbers back up on the screen to drive home the point you're making. More than 100,000 since last year, 60,000 housed in city facilities. So whatever, even if you close the border down today, you're still dealing with an issue here. It's already here in New York, and it's straining all kinds of different resources. People are coming up with different ideas. I mentioned that story just as one example that, up in Manhattan College, I think they had an old dorm that they sold off, and they were going to, I think it was supposed to be a homeless shelter there now that's being used for migrants. All kinds of things like that are happening. Again, what are we doing? What are we not doing that we should be doing here in New York right now?
I think we need to get control of it. And part of the problem is that the communication has been terrible. I mean, you rewind back to few months ago when JFK Airport first became a place where we were going to put migrants. You have someone, myself, who sits on the House Homeland Security Committee. I also sit on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. I asked to meet the mayor's staff or the mayor at the empty warehouse at JFK and get an understanding of what it is that they were looking to do, hoping to provide help, assistance, some more federal funding, some more federal resources. And when I got to JFK Airport after the meeting was set up, I was told by the mayor's office that it was canceled. There's been situations like this over and over again where everyone is calling on the federal government for assistance, but nobody wants to communicate. We are willing. I mean, House Republicans a couple months ago passed the Secure the Border Act. It brings money to the southern border. It hires more Customs and Border Patrol agents. It invests in technology and infrastructure along the southern border so that we will have less individuals coming into New York City. We're going to deal with the ones that we have here now. Obviously, the federal government is providing resources. I don't believe that starting to cut city agencies. I mean, the mayor's planning 15% cuts over the next 9 months. These are the very city agencies that are actually most strained by the migrants coming into New York City, simply because it's a sanctuary city and the mayor had no plan in place.
So now you need to keep those resources, or maybe even increase those resources. All right, Congressman, thank you. We'll stay on top of this. Congressman D'Esposito from the state of New York on the migrant issues here and elsewhere.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.